breathing machines, their lights getting cut off, and they can't go to the door to get their tags. That's unacceptable in our community, and we got to fight that kind of stuff as well.
Okay. Any other comments on this before we move on to the next question? Mr. Poe?
Yeah. While I was on the commission, we lost a lot of blood. We took a lot of arrows over the siting of the One Stop Homeless Center, and I feel like we eventually came to a decision to a site. Mr. Arnsberger was instrumental in helping us with that. It's a good site, and the city is more than ready to move forward. Unfortunately, the city is being sued by an individual, Robin Nalbandian, to prevent that from happening. And that is very unfortunate because the Grace One Stop Marketplace is something that is going to help really provide that whole market basket of services that Mr. Stockwell refers to help folks transition from homelessness into having a place to live and a square meal and a good job. So we need to encourage Mr. Nalbandian to drop his lawsuit so we can move forward and start serving this population.
I think Mr. Engel, and then we'll do Ms. Lentz.
Yeah, this is one of the first things that brought me into city politics. I was very actively against the 130 meal limit. I thought it was a terrible policy. It was ineffective. It was inhumane. It didn't address any problems. It only caused more problems. Was very happy it eventually got defeated. I think from what we're looking at now, the one-stop center, while it might be a great idea, is seemingly far in the future. We've got a lot of people that are homeless and hungry right now that never thought they were going to be. This downturn in the economy has affected people that thought they had a secure future that never thought there would be this problem. We've got people that are very, very close to becoming homeless that are living right on the edge. I think providing some basic services quickly, and I'm sorry, I can't finish this in a minute. 15 seconds. 15 more seconds. I think that it's giving some place where we can provide as basic a service as being able to take a shower, being able to use the bathroom in a safe place. Doing that quickly that wouldn't take nearly the investment or the time of the one-stop center needs to be something we can focus on quickly.
I think Ms. Lentz wanted to speak.
I think something that could be done very quickly is one of Mr. Scott's supporters is Mr. Nalbandian, and just ask him to try to work with us.
I'm surprised the lawsuit's taken this long, to be honest with you. Usually, nuisance lawsuits don't take this long to get resolved. I can't imagine there's a basis for his lawsuit, to be honest. We've got 5 minutes. Can we just get very quick responses?
Yeah.
One more question.
There are alternatives to the government being involved in building a Taj Mahal homeless center. Frankly, I can't pay for it. Alternatives to government being involved are friends, family, churches, non-governmental agencies, and personal responsibility. I don't want to come off to being heartless, but I'm for buying a bus ticket back to where you came from.
Okay, very good. Mr. Scott?
No.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vincent.
Sure.
I'm very interested in promoting effective and responsible social services. We've had great improvements in the social services at St. Francis House. The folks there they're starting to finally enforce the rules around there. People start acting more civilly and less aggressively inside and outside St. Francis House in the neighborhood where I live. So that's all been good. As a foundation, I'd like to see a trial campground for homeless people that would be very tightly managed, would require police clearances, and on top of that, I'd like to see small-scale, scattered-site, privately run, intensively managed, transitional, habilitative housing. A maximum of 4 people per unit, with a nearly equal number of life coaches, mentors, people who would serve generally as volunteers from much in the same way we do an interfaith hospitality network, to get people out of the surroundings of their usual social stuff.
We only have time for one more question. If you didn't get a chance to get your question answered, I'm sure the candidates would be very happy to stay behind it. We could ask them individually. Let's make this like a 20-second kind of response. Mr. Packer? Well, we've got 5 minutes and 11 candidates. So.
They may not all want to answer it, maybe a quick answer.
Yeah.
There's a street running through the neighborhood association, not a highway, not a city, county, or state highway, carries 7,000 cars a day by city surveys. Average speed, 10 miles an hour over the posted limit. GPD says, for budgetary reasons, understandably, we can't enforce the speed limit there. Would you endorse the use of technology to enforce the speed limit on situations like that throughout the county, throughout the city?
Mr. Packard, you're talking about 22nd?
Northwest 22nd Street.
So that's between 8th Avenue and University Avenue.
Everybody's shortcut.
No, no.
Well, that was quick.
Right, because speedometers were off, high, you know, you're gonna get letters in the mail and tickets and all that stuff. I want to be proved it to me that I've been speeding.
All right, Mr. Vansky?
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Payne?
Yes, I would definitely support it.
Ms. Patel?
I have a question. On 22nd, are there any speed bumps?
No, and the city refused to put
They
them there.
refused to put them.
And there's no stop sign either. It's the only north-south route in the neighborhood with no stop sign.
Get to the city hall.
I mean, to me, that would solve the problem if you could. Why was that?
Let me preach for 10 seconds more.
Okay.
Well, we don't have a lot of time.
Within the neighborhood association block, from 13th to 28th Street, from University to 8th Avenue, every single through street has physical traffic calming devices. Speed bumps, traffic circles, stoplights, stop signs, except Northwest 22nd Street. They've made it into a highway. There's no room for a bike lane, there's a sidewalk which abuts the street limit. We have dogs walk, strollers, kids waiting for school buses, and we have traffic going by at 35, even though it's posted with blinking LED lights saying you're speeding. Thank you.
All right,
Yes,
any
yes,
other
sir.
responses, Mr. Engel?
If you're talking about physically slowing people down, as far as, they said speed bumps or roundabouts or stop signs, I could be in favor of something like that. In general, I'm not in favor of and usually pretty harshly opposed to red light cameras.
Mr. Scott?
Yes, I'd be in favor of installing traffic calming devices and the stop sign, I believe, that was mentioned by the citizen comment. As for other resources other than an officer actually issuing a speeding ticket, I would not be in favor of that. But again, if GRU had more adequate resources, and that would require a staffing study to demonstrate, we might be able to address that problem. No, I'm sorry, GPD. I stand corrected. It's late tonight. We've had two forums.
We have just a couple more minutes. Who else wanted to chime in on this? Mr. Washington?
Is that Bernie Matson Street?
Yes.
Okay, so he doesn't want to be slowed down coming to the university?
No, it's just pedestrians don't feel safe crossing. I don't feel safe riding my kids on that street. It's very hard to drive.
Well, as far as the electronic issue, you have a real concern, you have a real issue. I'm against the electronic issue. I would agree with that. But I think headed straight on, if you've gotten, this is a really intelligent community. It's a data-driven community. People understand these things. I can't, from the life of me, understand why if it has that level of traffic and you've got all this proof, if the police department is putting their resources in less intensive places. I think instead of trying to make a suit fit by going up and putting your arm up, you just bring that data to the city commission and ask the city commission, is this a resource thing that we want to fund? Not electronic stuff that just confuses it and it takes away individual rights. It causes all sorts of problems for people. Just straight up make the police department do their job. And if they're out somewhere else doing something, they don't have the staff for it. You know, the red light cameras, codes enforcement was going to spend a lot of time looking at those cameras, take all the money that codes enforcement would have spent on that, give it to the police, and let them actually do their job out there.
Did anybody else want to comment on this? Mr. Grundy and then Mr. Brown.
This conversation, Mr. Packer, sounds really familiar to what our community just had with red light cameras. So that's probably not a road we want to go down. However, I would want to get with the Gainesville Fire Department as well, because it's my understanding that they are opposed to having what we call speed tables, which are those long, nice bumps. But we do need to have some traffic calming devices, and we need to look at our capital improvement plan and our budget for capital improvements to address issues of that nature. But not interested in probably having a discussion using technology if it would be along the lines of red light cameras. So I hope that answers your question.
I think we can rule out red lights on that street. So we're talking about speed bumps, stop signs, this sort of thing. Did anybody want to? Oh, Mr. Coe, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 22nd Street is on the docket